Welcome to the Lantern Webcast. I'm Mallory Trelevin. I'm here in the South Oval where students and activists are taking part in a week-long campout to raise awareness for student rights and state legislation. The campout began on Monday and will conclude with a walkout on the Oval at 1 p.m. today. We'll now hear from Lantern reporter Sarah Steeman about the rise in gas prices.
This spring, thousands of Ohio State students, faculty, and staff have been affected by gas prices on campus that are now slowly climbing close to $4 per gallon. So what is causing the recent rise in gas prices? Officials say they are based on supply and demand. The unrest in the Middle East and Northern Africa has market speculators concerned that the tension will spread to large oil-producing countries, and this will impact the supply of gas to the United States. Officials say that the American dollar losing value also plays a role in the rising gas prices. AAA data says the cost of unleaded gasoline exactly 1 year ago was around $2.89 in the Columbus area. Since then, that price has increased nearly 34% at almost $3.75 per gallon today. Most OSU students, faculty, and staff choose to get their gas from campus gas stations like the Exxon behind me. On Wednesday, Exxon's gas prices were even higher than the Columbus average at $3.89 a gallon. However, energy officials say there are ways to conserve gas on campus. Run all your errands in one trip instead of making additional trips to the gym, the grocery store, or class. Lighten your load. The less weight you have in your trunk or backseat of your car, the better mileage you will get. Drive the speed limit. The faster you go, the more gas you will consume. And be smooth with the pedals. Don't slam on the brakes or the accelerator. For more information about rising gas prices and tips and tricks to conserve gas, visit thelantern.com. Reporting for The Lantern, I'm Sarah Steeman.
Now let's hear some student reactions to this year's spring commencement speaker, John Boehner.
I'm at the Ohio Stadium where on June 12th, John Boehner, Speaker of the U.S. House of Representatives and representative from Ohio's 8th Congressional District, will be speaking in front of approximately 8,500 students during the spring commencement ceremony. I've asked graduating students how they felt about Boehner being the chosen speaker. Here's what they had to say.
When I first heard it, I kind of overreacted a little bit. So I was like, oh, I'm mad because he's a Republican and I'm in college, you know, and he's Speaker of the House. But it's really not going to be a big deal. He's just going to come in and say, you know, you guys are our future, blah, blah, blah. Glad you guys are taking advantage of your college experience, you know. And then the same old thing that everyone always says. It's not going to be like, you have to vote Republican, you know. He's not really going to politicize it, I don't think.
So the fact of the matter is that, like, whether you agree with him or not, he's a pretty powerful person in the United States, and he's from Ohio. So I feel like he may be inflammatory and may not have the greatest stance on education, which is kind of important here at a university, but he's kind of a big deal. So,
for me personally, I think it's exciting that the Speaker of the House is coming. It's kind of a big deal. But him coming, I don't know. I'm not against it, but I think it's okay to have him as the commencement speaker, but I would have wanted somebody else, I think.
For more information on this story, visit thelantern.com. I'm A.N. Sheik.
Now we'll get a quick sports update from Lantern reporter Alex Capello.
Thanks, Matt. The 75th anniversary weekend of Jesse Owens' magical performance in the 1936 Germany Olympics took place with the unveiling of a statue in his honor at Jesse Owens Memorial Stadium. Owens was honored for his successes at Ohio State as well as in the Olympics and his impact on the color barrier in sports. The Owens family, the Ohio State's track and field teams, and alumni were in attendance for the unveiling Thursday. In the 1935 Big Ten Championships, Owens set 3 world records and briefly tied for a 4th. He was also the first athlete to win 4 gold medals in a single Olympiad. He played a big role in breaking down the color barrier and overcame Hitler's intentions of proving Aryan superiority during the 1936 Olympics in Berlin.
He is truly an individual that we in your athletic department hold on a pedestal for all of our student athletes to hopefully emulate.
Jesse Owens was an enormous presence in an era of very small-minded people, an era of prejudice. Jesse Owens, by any stretch, and I say this to the students, was an uncommon man who represented Ohio State with grace. You need only take a look at what he did, the dignity with which he did it, and the presence that in so many ways transcended sports. The world, of course, knew him as an Olympian. We knew him as the Buckeye Bullet. That was his name. He was the Buckeye Bullet. In fact, you know, we have another Buckeye Bullet here, which is the world's land speed record, and in some ways it was named after him.
For my dad to meet adversity with courage in 1936 at the Olympics in Berlin. But he did it and was successful in bringing honor to his country, which he loves so much.
A lack of depth on the offensive line and injuries this spring has caused coach Jim Tressel to make changes to this year's spring game. Instead of having the Scarlet against the Gray team where teams were drafted against each other, it's going to be the offense against the defense in a jersey scrimmage-like game. Both teams will earn points for good plays, where the defense will earn points for things such as turnovers and sacks, and the offense will earn points for things such as touchdowns and first downs. Now over to the Diamond, the baseball and softball teams both face off on the road against Big Ten opponents. The baseball team is coming off a 5-4 loss to Bowling Green on Wednesday, but had a big 2-1 series win against Michigan State last weekend. It faced off against Michigan State, which was tops in the Big Ten, and now has an opportunity to jump to the tops in the conference against Penn State in Happy Valley. Both are at 5-4 and in third in the Big Ten. Meanwhile, in softball, it has not won a Big Ten game since the Minnesota series weeks ago and looks to bounce back in Evanston, Illinois against Northwestern. Don't forget, the showdown in the chute takes place Saturday at 11 a.m. where the men's lacrosse team will face off against Fairfield, and the Jesse Owens Memorial Classic will feature the men's and women's track and field teams on Saturday at 6 p.m. and Sunday at 10:30 a.m. Back to you, Mallory.
Thanks, Alex. That's all we have for this week. Be sure to check Facebook, Twitter, and thelantern.com for any other Ohio State updates. Have a fantastic weekend, and I'll see you next Friday.
Thank you.